Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart. Make us start with the soul connection. Soul connection.
Welcome to Sixth Sense and Beyond. I'm your host, Christina Andrianopoulos.
And I'm Catherine Glass, psychic medium.
And today we have a fantastic show, a very interesting show right after the holidays. It's great to have a couple got in touch with us. And what happened was something that we can never ever fathom with our loved ones, our children. And their daughter died in a car accident and passed. And this is a story that they wrote about how their daughter got in touch with them. And you read the book, and
It's wonderful. It's extremely heartwarming, and this couple are very generous to be with us today and share their story and their experience with all of you, so that for any of you who have had something so tragic happen to you as losing a child, our hope is that this will lift your hearts and your spirits and give you some wonderful, important information about life after death.
Right, and it just makes me feel great that every time we talk about opening the spiritual world to the world, that this is a clear indication of that. So you'll love meeting them. They're lovely people, and we'll talk about the book also.
Yeah.
We have our on-air reading with our very lucky viewers, so you're going to get an experience of Catherine doing a reading with him right here, and you're all welcome to write to us at readings@sixthsenseandbeyond.com and get invited also, and hopefully you'll do that.
And we have Chris, right? Coming on today.
Chris Flisher. Chris Flisher is our resident astrologer, and now into 2014, there's a lot of things happening up there in the celestial planets.
Yeah.
And so he'll give us a clue what's happening, a little bit of a forecast, and then we're going to do a psychic tip around what's going on and with the planets and how we can all help ourselves get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astrology is a good thing to do, and
I know.
we have it all.
Right.
Just come back and watch the rest.
Right. And then, of course, we have our psychic challenge. So right after this first segment, when we go into the first segment, you'll have a chance to kind of fine-tune your intuition as well. But we cannot do this without our sponsors, Healing Essence Center.
Yeah, Healing Essence Center in Concord, Massachusetts. Holistic and Wellness Center.
Yep, absolutely. And then we have Medical Aesthetics also up in Acton.
That's right.
Right. And Concord TV has picked up our show, so it's really great that we're opening up our viewer world too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Christian Ray, thank you so much for making us all look like celebrities. And Julio's Liquors, spirit meets spirit, a different kind of spirit. But thank you so much for supporting local television. And you know what? We should just go right into the first segment.
Okay, let's bring them on.
All right.
Okay, come on, guys.
So here we have Lori, Berger-McDermott, and Brian.
Welcome to our show, you guys, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
First of all, thank you for reaching out to us, and that's why we have this show. It's a platform for, we thought it was the gifted, but when someone comes and talks to you that is past, that I'm so happy you've gotten in touch with us.
Yes, and after reading your book, it's no doubt in my mind that Maya had a hand in this, in arranging this whole thing that we're doing here.
So let's start with the book, because this is what drove you to talk to us, and you sent us the book. This is the book. It's called Learning to Dance in the Rain, and that's a wonderful picture of the two of you after the tragedy walking on the beach. And somebody just captured it so perfectly. And can you explain what this photo means in the meaning behind this photo? Look closely.
This photo was taken in Myrtle Beach in November. Actually, it was 11/11 in 2010, and my brother took it. And we just love it because Maya's right here. This is her M. And,
oh my God.
And we have seen so many signs of our daughter's spiritual connection, and the M is a big one too. So it's, my brother just captured it, and it was hanging on our fridge for many months, and we were thinking about what are we going to use for a cover.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
this was the one.
Wow.
So let's take you back that awful day 3 years ago. And I asked if you would talk about if you were okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
I know. Talk. Go ahead, take it away. While she collects herself.
Exactly. So tell us what happened.
Do you wanna?
Sure. It was interesting because we had actually just been on a trip and we were getting in the practice of just getting in the car and driving, which we did. We went south. We drove really far south, ended up in Florida. And one of the things, we talk about this in the book, this number 20 kept showing up. We came back from the vacation. We actually, Maya's life was sort of a roller coaster. Teenage, she was a 21-year-old. And both of us had, at the end of the vacation, we came back and we were talking with her. She was planning on coming to see us. And both of us actually had really great conversations with her. And we just never knew when we were going to have a good conversation, not a good conversation, when it was going to change. But both of us had just really terrific conversations. And so she was staying at a friend's house. And she was actually coming back from UMass. And she would, every once in a while, really get high anxiety, stress because of classes, and she would just sort of run away, basically, from campus, wherever. This time she came back to her, to one of her friend's house, lived in Worcester, and that's when she called us and said she was going to go out and then come visit us the next morning, which was great. But it was that night, in the middle of the night, that we actually got the one knock at the door that you don't want to have. And it was the police, and they said there was a car accident. And then we learned that it was a fatal car accident. She left her friend's house in the middle of the night. There was sort of wrestling with social drama, and she and her friend weren't able to work things out, and she finally decided to leave. And then it was just a few miles from her friend's house that she ran into a telephone pole. And so there was a big crash, and we did learn that she passed immediately, so there was no pain.
Yes.
There wasn't any suffering, so that was really important to know.
Oh boy, I couldn't imagine.
And
yet,
we have teenage kids, 20
Right.
to
and we know about
17.
teenagers, so whatever you're saying,
Right.
oh boy, do we know about teenagers and their up and down moods and all that. But so what's wonderful about this, and this is going to be an uplifting show,
Right.
and the uplifting part of it is how you took this tragedy and turned it around in your lives. So let's talk about just how you felt that she started communicating with you.
Yeah. Well, just background, we both come from a Jewish Christian background, but we explored many different kinds of philosophical perspectives, Eastern and New Age philosophy, and bottom line, we are spiritual beings and human beings. That's what we felt. And so this experience really tested that, and we felt right away Maya's spiritual presence was still with us, and we sent lots of love to her. And the day that we had her body cremated, the day we got home from that experience, we were astonished to see over at least 20 blue jays in one of our trees. And that was probably the clearest message to us that this spiritual essence was still very much present and still very powerful. And we were fortunate. We had a lot of family members who also believed similarly and gave us a lot of resources so that we could open ourselves to a metaphysical connection. And it was more than we ever thought really was possible. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's.
And Catherine, you see spirits who have passed, and I've been there in the psychic galleries, and you did it with me, and saw my father come through, and so when something like this happens, it must be so heartwarming for you to see that this even though you're not trained, you didn't grow up with the gift, and
Everyone has mediumistic ability.
And I
That's
love
my
that.
belief. Everyone has it. It's in our wiring, and people have been communicating with their loved ones in spirit for eons. And then there was a period in history when it was all kind of shut down by the Christian Church, I think, for the most part, and patriarchy. And now that's all sort of beginning to dissolve in a more public, open way, and there's permission and there's room for it, and people don't look at you as much like you have two heads if you say, I know that my daughter is communicating. And family after family, person after person who has lost a close loved one often will say, I really do feel them around, but they'll come to me saying, is this real or am I crazy? Because it's new. You know?
And you're not crazy.
No,
so
they
you
had
are
the foundation already
a testimonial. You're not crazy, and so. Did you do anything? Like, Catherine's the gifted psychic medium. I'm intuitive, and I just love learning more about it. Did you open yourself up? Did you go into prayer? Did you meditate? Did you invite her to
Or
come
did
in?
she
What
just
did you
come,
do?
make herself known? right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of a gradual being pulled along with Maya's plan, I think. Things fell into our lives, different books, different resources, different people. These amazing, I mean, when the blue jays appeared in this tree on, the cold winter day, we started exploring Native American spirituality and what that all meant, and I think we opened ourselves to that. And many times we've had animals in our presence that you just know have a message for you, and then you delve into that. I had studied tarot cards a little bit and using the I Ching back when I was in college,
Yeah.
and that became some of the tools. We did try meditation, not very successfully, I don't think. I do yoga, so that was kind of good. But it's all been kind of making it up as we go along, and that's why we wrote the book, because it's not, it's so different than other people's experiences. We've really kind of forged our own path.
Do you feel more closer or more aware of the spiritual world now? Like, do you feel like it's always a part of your reality?
Yeah.
You're more aware of it on a conscious level, shall we say?
Yeah, I think initially one of the things was like the Blue Jays and just countless of other signs.
Which is all in the book, by the way.
Whether it had to do with animals, whether it had to do with numbers, just all of these things kept becoming aware, we were becoming aware of. And initially it was, we would wonder, so is that a sign? And then we moved to, okay, we know that's a sign, but what is the sign?
Or what's the message? Or
What's
what
the
is she
message?
trying to say?
What is it? What is it? What's the meaning of that? And now we know it's.
I'm here, hello, I love you.
Right, it's a part of us, we're a part of it. There is no separation.
And do you acknowledge her when you know? Do you say, hi Maya, yes, I hear you, thank you? Because they love that.
Yeah.
They love to know when they got through.
That's great, Catherine. You know what, that's great. You just talked about 3 different phases you went through your grief. You saw some phenomena signs, and then you started saying, is this a sign? And then saying, okay, you're here, that's it. And now do you invite her? Do you say, oh, can you come by?
We're not quite there.
I'm inviting her.
She's always there.
We
if
do
you
talk to her, yeah.
So, Catherine, you felt her spirit coming here, right?
I definitely did.
Well, because
and I
you're
just started chatting to her. But you know, understand that the spiritual energy, the spiritual world is like a stream of always happening. It's always right here happening. Like a song is always playing on the radio in the background, and we're talking here, not listening to the song. But if you just shift your awareness to the words of the song or the presence of your loved ones in spirit, you can jump into that stream at any time and hear them. You just have to quiet yourself enough to get to that level of communication. That's really all it is. It's always there.
Great.
She's always available.
It's that
Another
crisp-
psychic tip.
Yeah, and it's not like she's just hanging around watching you either,
Right.
because they can be many places at once.
Right.
They're-
It's that crisp hearing that I think we're both wanting to get to.
Yeah.
We talk to her all the time.
Yeah.
We know, we have a feeling that she's there, we get that sense.
Yeah.
But we can't quite yet have that conversation.
Okay.
Well, it's going to take a lifetime, maybe. And then
Okay.
Catherine will be able to talk to you afterwards and maybe even teach you how to do that. She's been taught. You've had it. And
We would
so
love
anyway,
that.
what you did was turn this around and you started making these beautiful stained glass, and I loved it. I wanted to show it. We don't have a lot of time here, but you also sell these and make them for gifts.
I started as a hobby, and then they're memorial candle holders, and they're called Leora Leolam, which means I have light eternal. And,
Which is gorgeous.
and it's just another way for families who have family members they've loved who've passed, another way to connect and
Great.
keep their light going in their lives. Maya's light is still shining
Always.
bright and keeping
And now
us
she's
smiling.
shining bright to 500,000 viewers and on our TV show and to us as well. Thank you so much for sharing it again. The book is Learning to Dance in the Rain, Lori and Brian McDermott, Berger-McDermott. And Maya, thank you so much for being here as well.
And you have done a huge mitzvah today. You have really brought comfort to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being
Absolutely.
vulnerable enough to come
And
on.
thank you for reaching out. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having this show.
Oh, we're going to do our psychic. We're going to ask you, can you help us with our psychic challenge since now you're becoming in tune?
Okay, this is a game that we
If we
play
can.
on the show.
So here you go.
You hold that.
Pressure.
Okay, you hold this. These are some of the books that they use, but we're using them for our psychic challenge. So again, what we want you to do is
a game we play with
look
the
at
audience.
these 3 books And Catherine has picked one of them, and she's going to send that information out. She hasn't told us yet. So we're picking it up too. So is it the animal speak that Lori is got here on the left? Or is it Death and Letting Go? It's a blue book. Or is it Staying Connected? So
Which book did I pick, guys? Come on, use your psychic antenna. Tune in.
yep. And then we'll come back.
Yeah. And give
Okay,
you the
so write
answer.
it down. And you'll have a chance again to pick again.
Okay.
The same book. All right?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back to Sixth Sense and Beyond, and I'm going to do my psychic reading for our guest today, our volunteer guest, Paula, who has volunteered herself today to come in and have a reading with me. So hi, Paula.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How
Good.
are
Are
you?
you nervous?
Little.
Little? Okay. That's all right. You feel a little exposed, but it'll slip away easily.
Okay.
So Paula, you have come on the show because you'd like to talk to me about your career, is what you
Yes.
said, yeah? And say a little bit about that. Like, if you had booked an appointment with me in the office, what would you say to me when you come in?
I would just like to know what I need to focus on in my career. What kind of a market I should be marketing to? Should I partner? Should I be doing classes, one-on-one?
And you're
things like
working in the
that?
health field, right? Holistic
Yes.
health field.
Yes.
Okay. And nutrition, you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So right off the bat, your guides are telling me that I have an image of someone with their head buried in the sand. And there's a bit of a feeling of fear is what I'm picking up. On a deep level, there's some fear that you're holding about yourself, about really, really knowing and owning your established position. You've done this switch from another career very recently. You said about 3 years?
No, I just left the other job.
Oh, you just left. Okay,
Yeah.
so because that's 3 years, it actually isn't so recent, but that's really recent. So
Yep.
you are in a transition phase, and what's leaving, what I'm being shown is to really allow yourself to let go the negative thoughts, the fear, the oh, there's so many out there already doing it. How can I be different? What you need to focus on instead of that is what do I love about it? What
Okay.
calls me to want to help these people? And what about your own life are you learning and healing about nutrition and about holistic healing? Think about your own life. Have you had experiences in the directly traditional medical world that weren't working for you or disappointed you in some way? What called you to come forward to do this service? Because it is a wonderful service that you're doing. And as I'm sitting with your energy, I'm feeling like you're a little frozen. There's a little fear. And maybe it's because we're on TV, I don't know. But to just really allow yourself to, I'd love to give you a meditation actually to do where you sit in meditation quietly and you imagine dark energy, fear, negativity, cobwebby, gray, whatever it is, fatigue, leaving from your crown, from your head, and just draining out your whole body into the earth. Open up little spigots in your feet. And then as that's leaving, allow in beautiful light, rainbow-colored light, white rainbow light coming down into your head and filling your whole body and pushing out fear, negativity, and just exhale with that.
Okay.
And after you do that draining, sit and just allow yourself to really hold the sacredness and the joy that you have in there about the change.
Yeah.
And when you drain that energy, you're going to be draining the fear.
Okay.
There's just I feel like it's an old block or something from your past that either someone told you can't, or you're holding a belief that you can't, and you really can. You were called and guided to do this work.
Yeah.
You trust that guidance that's from the spirit world, and to really commune with them. I'd like to see you also doing some writing, journaling, and communicating with your spirit guides. How to, talk to them, sit down and meet them on the bench, and in a beautiful setting, and say, guys, things aren't moving the way I'd like them to move. I need some guidance. Give me a sign. Ask them about who should I be marketing to and all those specifics, and then listen. You will get the answers. I feel right now. Actually, I want to talk to you about working with elderly people.
Okay.
I think that elderly is one area that you would really speak well to. I feel that you're very trustworthy, you're very calm, you have a gentle demeanor about you, and I feel the elder community would be very soothed by that.
Okay.
you know, you're not so young that they walk in and feel like, oh my God, how could this child know anything?
Yeah.
But you know, you're still very vital, obviously, and interested in health. So
Okay.
that's one area, like going to senior centers and letting them know who you are and what you do, and putting out flyers and pamphlets. I mean, the obvious sort of physical marketing.
Yeah.
But the deeper work with you energetically to expand is to, number one, work with letting go of any negative thoughts you're having around making this transition.
Okay.
And then putting out of your mind anyone else and what they're doing. It's not about what you are, your own footprint or thumbprint.
Yeah.
Like the snowflakes are all unique.
Okay.
And you have your special ray of healing to bring and service to give.
Okay.
Give me a question on that.
Give you a question.
I mean, about that. Is there anything you...
No, I think that really sums it up. I am very spiritual myself.
Yes.
I've been doing meditation, so I'm
Wonderful.
partially that way there. I don't know if you see any of the spiritual aspect of it coming in as to healing.
Oh, the
as
spiritual
well.
healing work?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Stones. I mean, crystals, look at what's on your neck. You definitely resonate with that. You love that.
that calls me.
Spend time with them, talk to them,
Okay.
see how they want to be used in the healing work you do. Maybe just, you know, give one stone for someone to hold. Also, continue studying, broadening your knowledge of what's current in the
Yeah.
holistic health world.
Okay.
Becoming aware of teaching others how to travel inside their own body in a meditation to heal whatever's bothering them and their illnesses. There's a myriad of techniques and things that you will access through your meditations.
Yeah,
I want to
getting there.
encourage you to write them down. Are you
Okay.
writing them? Or even run a tape
Some.
recorder? Okay,
Some.
great.
Not all of it, but some.
So
Yeah.
write or record.
Okay.
Okay, and obviously if you want to go further, we can set up a reading sometime.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's wonderful to have you on, and I hope
Thank
that
you
was
so
helpful.
much. Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you for coming in.
Thank you.
It's going to smooth out. It's going to be great. Just hold on.
It's transition,
Yes.
yeah. It's a bumpy ride.
Ride the wave. Thank
Yeah.
you, and we'll be
Thank
right
you.
back.
Make a soul connection. Soul
back.
connection.
Catherine, that was such a great on-air reading. That was wonderful. And what I wanted to say is that Jim has been communicating with me online for the longest time. He's been so patient because a lot of people want to be on. And finally, we got this opportunity. I'm so happy.
Yeah,
they
he's a
did.
sweetheart.
Yeah, that's great. So all of you can do it at readings at sixthsenseandbeyond.com, readings at sixthsenseandbeyond.com, if you choose to have an on-air reading. Or they can come and see you off air too. So that's great. So we have the great pleasure to introduce again, by popular demand, Chris Blischer.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. One of my happiest things to do is to come here with you two.
Thank you,
What guy
resident
wouldn't want to be
astrologer.
here?
Well, you're going to help us with a psychic challenge because they're all waiting with a pen and pencil. Okay, let's put these up. So let's put it close together so we don't confuse people. So before we had the on-air reading, we put these 3 books up with the other couple that was here. Animal Speak, Death and Letting Go, and Staying Connected. 3 books. 1, 2, 3. Catherine picked one of these books. Which one do you think she picked? Give them another few seconds to...
I'm really thinking of it really strong.
Okay. So...
Which one is it, Chris? Do you know?
Okay,
I have a vague idea.
if you picked Animal Speak, it's correct. This is the one that Catherine had picked.
Is it?
So
What are you, psychic? Yeah. You gotta be
that's
to be a
great.
good
So
astrologer.
anyway, so again, every week we do this and we help you get more in tuned and all. So we want to get into what's happening in 2014.
Yeah, 2014 is going to be a difficult year.
Oh, no,
but,
don't say
but I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that without the difficulty, we don't grow. So you kind of have to have some sort of difficulty. And it's not necessarily difficulty in a greater sense. What we have coming up in April, we have an eclipse at 25 Libra, but beyond that, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of April, we have Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, and Uranus all at 13 degrees, all forming what's called a cardinal cross.
Wow.
So each of the 4 cardinal points of the compass will be touched by a major planet. Now Mars typically is the clock keeper of the zodiac. So when because Mars moves faster than the other 3 planets, Mars clicks in and then they will all be in that position.
So what does that mean?
So it's very unusual to have, these planets do not move quickly, so this is a very rare phenomenon. And because it's in a cardinal, they're all in cardinal signs, it indicates an opportunity for enormous initiation. So people, rather than running away from things, they should actually thrust themselves into it. Because the aspects are what's considered
So
to be...
face your fear.
Yeah, they're
Go through
considered
it.
to be challenging aspects, yes, but that's exactly when you're supposed to act.
Okay, so you're saying that 2014, if we've been trying to plan things like 2013 for me has been a planning stage, it's a growth stage, it's change, that I should feel comfortable that right in the first quarter, right after the first quarter of the year, that I get that going.
Jump
if I
in.
haven't gotten it going yet,
Jump
just
in
get it.
when it's as hot as can be, is what I would say, because that's you're going to gain the most from it. It's sort of like facing your fears, like you said, Catherine. You know, you want to just lean into it. You never want to run away from it. And people, depending upon how their charts are laid out, they're going to see this activity in different scenes of their lives, different parts of their life, because their houses are going to change.
So depending on where those planets hit in their personal chart,
Right.
that's the area of life
So
it will
that's-
It could be
hit.
home.
It could be
That's a
home,
good reason to
could-
see Chris.
Could
and
be
have a reading.
career, could be money. So
Absolutely.
you have to know the the specifics, because everybody's chart is different. I mean,
Sure.
some people obviously are the same, but your charts are different, and because they are aligned differently, the action is going to take place in a different room in your house, for example.
Right.
So you want to know where that's going to be.
Astrological house.
Yes, it's a
Yes.
metaphorical for
Right.
you know, is it in
Right.
your house of relationship? Is it your career? Is it your creativity? Is it your money? These are all valuable things to know. If you
Right.
know that it's your money, you want to get that in the right spot so that
Yeah.
you're able to manifest that in the best possible way.
That's great.
If it's a time of rich creativity and you have an idea, jump right in. You don't want to be held back. You
Also,
don't want to be held back.
love
on your website, you do you send out like for the whole
I do,
country. You talk about the world and
I
all.
talk
I
about
love that too.
every week I do a weekly newsletter where I talk about what's called the mundane aspects
Yep.
of what's happening in the globe. So we may see quite a bit of things happening over the course of the
That's
spring.
good. Hopefully good things.
I hope
Tune
so.
into
I
that
hope so.
because it's
I mean,
really informative.
and you can
this
get that
website.
from my website. It's you sign up for
Right.
the newsletter and it comes out once a week.
That's great. I
every
love it because
Sunday.
we get it every week, and you give us our personal one, which
right,
is great.
yeah, and then you always want to read your sun sign and your rising
Your
sign.
rising sign.
Great.
So that's
Chris,
very important.
thank you again.
Yeah,
And
you're welcome.
That gives us so much optimism.
Heads
and
up,
hope and
everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
Go
April,
do it. Do whatever
April
it is,
is
but
the
find
time.
out.
April,
Right.
April.
I like that. April.
My
Get ready.
birthday month. Okay.
Yeah, cool. My rising.
It's all about Aries, right?
All right,
Chris?
great. So, Chris, thank you so much.
You're
we'll have
welcome.
you again. We gave you a little bit of a forecast. That's great, right, Catherine?
There's a lot more, but you know, that's a good
I know.
teaser.
I know. Well, they can get in touch with you.
Right.
So, thank you so much for our sponsors, our guests, Christian Rate for making us all look like stars, Julio's Liquors, wow, you should see
Namaste,
their
namaste.
whiskey tastings, amazing. Healing Essence Center, yep, your wonderful husband running that. And thanks to all of you for watching, and please reach out and get in touch with us, and stop us when you see us. Just say hello, stop us, don't be shy.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you, and a great 2014.
Let's make a soul connection.